Good morning, world. I am Judy, your web-based therapist, making therapy accessible and convenient for our clients in Florida and New York, and of course, sharing information worldwide. Today, I'd like to take a moment and talk about 5 things that we could do, 5 ways we can support or be more supportive to people with ADHD and ADD. Right now, I know it's ADHD Awareness Month, so a lot of people are more, hey, pro ADHD, right? But I want to talk about what we can do the rest of the 11 months of the year to be supportive and be there for and be, my brother's keeper for our people who suffer from ADHD the rest of the year. But before I get into that, I want to take a quick moment and say if you are subscribed, thank you so very much for being a part of our world. And if you are not yet subscribed, please click the subscribe button below so that you can become a part of this wonderful world of ours. And be sure to tick the bell so that you are notified when I post new videos so you don't miss anything. And of course, if you'd like to purchase 1 or 3 of my books, also a link below that will take you to a website that shows you all your options of different places where you can get 1 or 3 of my books. Okay, so the first thing to do is be an ally or an advocate. A lot of times people with ADHD are subjected to a lot of unfair treatment, a lot of unfair judgment, a lot of unfairness around our society. Being an ally, being that person who stands up for that person with ADHD. For example, you're in the staff meeting and someone is berating the person with ADHD, or making jokes about ADHD because the person missed the deadline or something. Be that person, be that ally, be that advocate who stands up for them. Or when you're in that room and people are making ADHD jokes or are using ADHD to describe behaviors that are not acceptable as a negative adjective. Be that person, even if the person with ADHD is not there. Be that person who stands up and say, no, this is not acceptable. Be an ally. Being an advocate is one good way, one very important way to be supportive to people with ADHD. 2, help them get access to resources. A lot of times the person may not know how to get access to resources, or the person may not even realize what is going on, because especially as adults, a lot of adults with ADHD were not diagnosed as children and were told that there was a whole lot wrong with them, but they were never given the benefit of finding out that they suffered from ADHD and that there was nothing wrong with them. It was just ADHD. So if you know someone who's experiencing the symptoms that you've noticed, to help them get access to resources, or maybe the person knows, or they've disclosed that they have ADHD and they are not getting help. Help them gain access to resources. People may not always know where they can go, where to get the resources, where to get the help that they need. So if it is a person in your life who suffers from ADHD, helping them get access to resources could be a great way to get them going, to get them started, managing and learning how to work with their ADHD. 3, help learn how they work and start from there with working with them. People with ADHD work differently. In a lot of ways, they do things their own way. They do things, they have that, I always say they have that out of the box. Actually, they do most everything, a lot of things out of the box. So they may not do things exactly the same way that you do, but they have their own systems. They have their own ways of doing things. They have their own ways of managing. They have their own ways of organizing. So learn how they work best. Learn what is most effective for them and start there when you're working with them. For example, if you know that this person is a morning person, hey, focus on if you need their attention, get it in the morning. If you know that this is an evening person or a night owl, or you get to, and one way to figure this out is asking the person. Get to know them, get to understand, learn about them and their ADHD and their process, so that when you're working with them, you can work with that process. And that brings me to the next one. Work within their system. People who are managing their ADHD usually have a system that is working for them. They have this plan. They have Yeah, it's a system. They have a system that works, a system that allows them to function effectively, a system that allows them to function with their ADHD, to do and thrive with their ADHD. So if you are working with them, if you're helping or you need their help, learn to work within their system so that you're not throwing the system off, and you're able to get the best result. Because when the person has a system together, their success, their ability to thrive depends, works, and lives on that system. So learning to work within that system will make a great difference in helping them succeed, as well as helping them do whatever it is, give you whatever it is that you need from them. 5. Be supportive and non-judgmental. People with ADHD, many of them have been through a whole lifetime or upbringing of being judged or being told that they were not good enough, that they were not this, that they were being told how they were disappointing someone, being told how they were not living up to somebody's expectation. They've heard a lot of negative talk. Taking the time to be supportive, taking the time to be non-judgmental will go a long way of helping that person feel accepted, of helping that person be comfortable, of helping that person, just allowing that person to be themselves. So take the time, be supportive. If they need something, if there's a way that you can be supportive, be supportive. If there's something that they need that you can do for them, do it. Take the time and be supportive. Be there for them, and don't be judgmental. They've had enough of that. They've had a lifetime of people judging, of people criticizing. Just don't do your best to not be one of those people. Okay, so let's do a quick recap. 1. Be an ally or an advocate. Take time to learn about ADHD. Stand up for people with ADHD, and just stand up to people who are being meanies or people who are not being good humans. 2. Help them get access to resources, because a lot of times they may not know or how to get access to resources, or that there are resources. So if you find resources, if you know of how to get access to resources, help them gain access. 3. Learn how they work best and start from there. If you're working with them, start from where they are. It helps them progress better, and it helps you get the results that you need. And that, which brings me to number 4, work within their system. If a person has their ADHD managed, or they're managing their ADHD, they usually have a pretty good system that is working for them. So if you are working with them, if you need something from them, do your best to work within that system so that you're not throwing them off, so that you're not getting them off track, and of course, so that you have your best chance of getting what you need from them. And of course, be supportive and be non-judgmental. They've had a lifetime of non-supportive, critical, just not very nice humans that they've dealt with. To be at this time, it's good, it's important, it's helpful if they can have some people in their lives who are supportive, some people in their lives who are non-judgmental, who allow them to just be who they are and thrive as themselves. As always, if you or someone you know happens to be going through something that's more than you can handle, please remember that there are professionals like myself who are available, able, and willing to help, and are even providing remote services who can assist with whatever you may have going on. So please figure out who those people are in your community, so that if you need the help, you can reach out and get the help that you need. And that is all we have for today. Good morning, world. Have an awesome day.